Cryptozoology is, by its very nature, elusive. Thus, we cannot say that we are exactly bringing you the facts, but we will do our best to help you see these mythical legends as we do. So sit back, relax, and wait. What's that behind you? Never mind. Enjoy the show. Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode of Cryptids on Cryptids. We have something spooky this week. What do we got, Sid?
Well, Marty, I wouldn't say it's spooky, but today we got the Lizard Man of Lee County, also known as the Lizard Man of Skateboard Swamp.
Skateboard Swamp?
Scape or Swamp.
Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, 2 words.
Scape or Swamp?
Which is an actual location in South Carolina. It's Skateboard Swamp in South Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did mishear you the first time you told me, and I thought it was Skateboard Swamp.
No.
Which sounds much radder.
That does sound way cooler. Also, kind of a weird name, because I know we discussed last week when we talked about a swamp monster. The Honey Island swamp monster, to be specific. Swamps aren't, like, super great for the movement thing on any front.
No. Yeah, maybe if you're kind of, like, semi-aquatic, maybe? But it'd be very hard to skateboard in a swamp for sure.
Semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal of action? Unfortunately, I am not.
Could you get a semi-aquatic skateboard, and then it could be skateboard swamp?
I suppose you could. I suppose, but then, like, any swamp you'd skateboard in would be skateboard swamp.
Maybe this one's just real cool.
It really does just sound like a TLC show, I suppose.
Skateboard swamp? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shrek had a skateboard at some point.
Not again. We're not doing Shrek again. Not again. I'm not strong enough for that. No, we're going back. We're going back. No.
No.
Man. No. Okay. So.
Maybe it's Tony Hawk's Skateboard Swamp.
Tony Hawk's Skateboard Swamp? That really... If Tony Hawk published a horror game, I feel like it would be Tony Hawk's Skateboard Swamp.
That does feel like a Tony Hawk horror game.
Doesn't it? Like...
Everyone tweet at Tony Hawk. We need this to happen. We need this to go.
Tony Hawk's probably tired at this point. I don't know if he still makes video games. But, like...
He definitely still skateboards, which is great. If you haven't followed his Twitter, it's a gem. It's great, because everyone, like, kind of recognizes him, but doesn't. It's so good.
I wore... And I think about this a lot. That, like, when I was in middle school, Tony Hawk things were, like, they had Tony Hawk clothing, I guess. I think Kohl's sold it. But I wore it when I was in middle school. Like, I owned Tony Hawk clothes. And I remember thinking I was, like, the coolest kid. Because I was like, oh my god. Like, people think I skateboard and all of that. And how cool is that? I did not skateboard in middle school. I kind of skateboard now, but not well.
I skateboarded in middle school. I don't skateboard now, weirdly. Vermont's got a lot of hills. It's not super conducive to going everywhere you need to.
Yeah. Part of me wonders, like, where I live is rather flat. I live in a big city, so, like, skateboarding is super convenient for me as far as a way to get places quickly where I don't have to worry about, like, locking my bike, I suppose. Because, like, a skateboard, I use a penny board. All you really have to do on that is just pick it up and tuck it in your book bag or wherever, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Or,
back when I lived in Ohio, I used skateboarding as a method to get around a lot.
Yeah.
A friend of mine even built, like, a homemade, like, remote control longboard.
Those are
which was kind of dope, but also super dangerous.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, absolutely.
It could just, like, spark out at any moment.
I mean, those are dangerous even if they're not homemade to a certain extent. They do go really quick. And you should always wear a helmet when you, like, skate in any sort of way. Even bike, like, wear a helmet all the time. Not all the time, but, like, you know what I mean. But I mentioned this in this way because driving is a pain in any city, anywhere. It's awful,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, uh, every time I call for like food for delivery, the people usually don't come in cars. They usually come on bikes. Like I get a lot of bikes. Sometimes you get somebody who's walking and just absolutely booking it. The most fun experience I had was
Booking
somebody
it.
who roller skated. Like
Roller skated.
roller
That's
skated.
interesting. That's actually kind of dope.
And they weren't, because like I had, or used to have, I guess I kind of grew out of them, inline skates, which are designed
Mm.
to go really, really fast. Like you will get it on those skates.
Fly,
You'll just be
yeah.
hauling it. But they were on like four wheelers, I
The
guess.
four
The
wheel,
four wheel
yeah.
skates.
Roller
And they were
skates.
just, I have never seen roller derby in real life, but I imagine that like seeing somebody on skates barrel towards you with like very, very little intention of stopping is terrifying.
It's terrifying.
As,
Because it's like, what if human could run, but like twice as fast?
yeah, and also they're holding an entire stack of pizzas, so like
Oh, that's amazing.
horror film material, but so cool. Like,
Speaking of horror film material, what's up with this? This you said it was a lizard man.
it sure did. The
Is it like the politician lizard man, or
no, those are different. I think.
no?
Though they may be the
That's a
same.
different thing. That theory is so weird to me. I don't understand it.
We could. I mean, it's not a cryptid, but I don't know. That'd be
Guess
fun.
we could talk about it, maybe.
Maybe, maybe.
I feel like there's there's definitely some like kind of iffy implications to that conspiracy theory, though.
There's a lot of iffy implications to like every conspiracy theory. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief.
That is actually so true.
Most of them, there's always a little something that you're just like, ooh, ooh. But while we're here, and while we're kind of talking about the lizard man, which I'm gonna give
This
you
rad skateboarding lizard man, yeah.
absolutely, I'm gonna give you a rundown of what this guy looks like and some quick fun facts about the area. So, I did mention lizard
Does
man.
he have like an extra skateboarding limb, or is it just kind of built in there?
Is a tail a skateboarding limb because it helps you balance? Real question. Putting it on the table.
I think so. I think it would help.
I
think it would help you do some rad ass tricks, actually.
I imagine it would, but then also question, would that tail also be counted as a surfboarding limb?
Probably to a lesser extent.
All right.
Because I feel like the surfboard, as someone who surfs and skates, the surfboard has like the fins built into it, right? That help you move through the water and help you kind of direct it, and stabilize yourself. But I think the main thing that people struggle with, at like speaking from experience, is like actually getting up to speed to catch the wave is a little bit difficult. The balancing is not super hard.
I have never been surfing, but I think it would be really fun to try, honestly.
It is a lot of fun. It's a blast, actually.
Because
If you ever are in a location where you can surf, go do it. It's so much fun. Like, it's just so fun.
if you're ever in a location where you can surf, oh. Oh.
Maybe not for a year or so for some of our landlocked friends.
Well, I'm not technically landlocked, it's just not. I'm lake locked.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, me too. I don't have ocean here.
We
the
got
only
a lizard.
state in the Northeast.
We got a lizard man to talk about. We sure do. So. Okay. This is going to be interesting, alright? So, a quick rundown of what this guy looks like. Okay, quick rundown on the location first, then I promise we'll get to what he looks like. We're currently going to be looking at the area of Lee County, South Carolina. There's a swampland in the region, which is why you get Lizard Man of Skateboard Swamp and also Lizard Man of Lee County. But the first quote-unquote sighting, I suppose, of the creature, the first recorded, like, description of the creature would be July 4th, 1988, because there was reports of a car damaged overnight while parked at a home in the area of Browntown, outside of Bishopville, South Carolina,
Browntown.
on the edges of the Skateboard swamp.
Interesting.
The car reportedly had tooth marks, scratches, hair, and muddy footprints left behind.
Whoa.
And they believe that this is the event that kind of sparked the whole, I guess, got the Lizard Man ball rolling.
Well, that's interesting because there's hair left behind.
Hair, yes, but the main thing is the car had been bitten. Something came out and crunched it. Not real bad.
Something did come out and crunch this car.
Not real bad.
Okay, the hair kind of doesn't suggest lizard to me, but what it does is it does help my theory that this is just a radical lizard man. Maybe he has a mullet or something.
That's what I was gonna suggest. I'm like, this could just be his wig.
A mullet,
you know,
specifically.
Yeah, not a mullet. I am contractually obligated to say mullets are not that bad, given the fact that I currently kind of have one.
Oh no.
Look,
oh no, Sid.
I haven't been to the barber in like months. Quarantine do just be like that. I can't. It's getting bad. I gotta do something.
Yeah. Maybe what I've done is I've just learned how to use I have like a beard trimmer, but it's like super heavy duty, so I just use it to shave the sides of my head.
I thought about it because like I have short hair, so it's not too hard for me to like maintain it, I suppose. But it's not even like, I wouldn't say it's a mullet, it's just growing way more than I'd like it to.
Yeah.
I look like that.
I think part of having a mullet is the intention of having a mullet.
I don't have the intention of having a mullet.
That's good. That's a step in the right direction.
I do, however, look like one of the smug dog villagers from Animal Crossing. If you're familiar with Shep, same vibes.
Same vibes.
Same vibes. Unironic. But
does the lizard man of Lee County have a Animal Crossing counterpart? I'm still trying to wrap my head around what this thing looks like. I know he crunched a car, so maybe pretty big.
He did crunch a car, and we're about to get into that, so the first sighting was that the car had been damaged. Sheriff Liston Trisdale noticed that this was kind of the start of, like, I guess the legend, I suppose? I say legend, they say
mythos.
Claims, but since we're viewing this from the standpoint that we do, this would be like the kind of start of the series of stories. This is like our first sighting. But the first physical, like in-person sighting was by a 17-year-old local named Christopher Davis, who filed a police report that his car was damaged due to a creature described as green, wet-like, 7 feet tall, had 3 fingers, red eyes, skin like a lizard with snake-like scales. And it really
interesting.
Does just read like a horror plot, because in order for this sighting to occur, he was driving home from working, I guess he had a night shift job, and his car got a flat, so he pulls over, and he starts like fixing the flat, you know? And as he's doing that, he sees something start walking towards him. And so he gets in his car and tries to drive away, but the creature climbs on top of the car.
Ooh. Mandor car hook hand.
Right out of a Tumblr post right here. And so, you know what he does? You know what this kid does? Okay, so imagine...
Gasses it? That's what I'd do.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Nice.
So, he gasses it, hits the brakes, and the creature, like, flies off the back, like, rolls off the car, and then he just peels it out of there.
Yeah.
Though, first off, imagine watching that. Like, imagine
being, like, sitting on your porch and seeing some car pull over and then, like, something climbs on top of it and just being like, huh, never seen that before.
My main thing is, like,
the fuck?
Imagine No, like imagine if the creature didn't fall off. I think is my thing because this is a relatively small town. Imagine you're like, it's late, you're just sitting on your porch, you're having dessert. It's a nice like evening before dinner, and a car just comes peeling through your neighborhood, and it's that kid from down the block who's just lead footing it on the pedal with this absolute creature just hanging onto the roof rack, and they're both screaming.
I imagine you would hear it long before you would see it
Oh
because
my
the
god, you
tire's
have
still
to.
flat, right? Like the tire's
Yeah.
still flat, so you just hear the screeching of the metal, like this broke ass tire on the ground, along with some uneven thumping from the car. So it'd just be like, and
And then
that might be
whatever
terrible
sound.
audio.
What
And then just
sound?
screaming on top of that. And then you see this giant 7 foot tall fucking lizard man on top of a car.
Yeah. No. I don't. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And like, this would be the point where I would ask you if Lizard Man has a tail, but as we've discussed previously, I feel like if he did, he would have dropped it by then. Like, that has to be some type of traumatic experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like for any lizard being on top of a car is a terrible experience.
Yeah. I mean, bad experience, but there's also the bit that you have to consider where I want to bring this up really quick because I feel like this should be mentioned. So, right, you got two cars, okay, that are the site of these lizard man attacks. I don't know if you've ever been up real high and looked down at cars. They sure do look like beetles.
Okay. Well, Sid, we talked about this in a previous episode with the Mothman, and maybe he thought the cars are beetles. But I don't know how feasible that is, seeing as beetles are the size of like your thumb, and a car is the size of a car.
Like, imagine you're some type of lizard man. You've been living in a swamp for God knows how long, and this massive beetle, the biggest beetle you've ever seen, just sort of pulls up, and this kid gets out of it, and you're like, "Dang, that thing's like super defenseless, squishy, made of meat. I bet the inside of that thing's made of meat too." So you just go for it. You just start gnawing on the metal frame, and then all of a sudden it decides it's gonna move, and you just get launched back into the swamp. Like,
Okay, there's only one way that I see this being plausible, okay? And you're gonna have to hear me out for this. Alright,
okay.
the only way that I see that this is plausible is if this creature is left over from prehistoric times. Because back then, there were big beetles. And maybe he sees this car and he thinks, fuck, dude, they're back. The biggest, juiciest fucking beetles. I'm here for it. And jumps on it and gets absolutely rolled because it's actually a car and it's made of metal. But if he were left over from the prehistoric times, Sid, well, we've discussed this on the podcast before as well. That would make him a modern dinosaur. And what are modern dinosaurs?
No!
Birds!
No! No! Absolutely not. Never in a million years. Not again. I just got fucking bird theoried.
Oh my god.
Absolutely not. You guys can't hear it because I moved my microphone because I'm polite, but I pounded on the desk. I'm so tired of bird theory. Every week I come into the show, I do all this research, I set all my prep work up, I got a PowerPoint document, I have Excel spreadsheets, I got at least 3 sources and backup citations, and you know what I gotta do? I gotta prep for the bullshit that you put me through, because I have to come up with every possible way to not get bird theoried, and every goddamn week I get fucking bird theoried.
Well, if you're gonna bring up beetle car theory, I gotta bring up bird theory. Because you know what?
What?
Maybe this thing is a modern dinosaur. And honestly, what is a modern dinosaur but a chicken? Or any other kind of bird? It's just a fact.
Well, okay. And I'm angry because you're kind of right.
Mm-hmm. Modern
Modern
dinosaurs are
dinosaur.
birds.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Apologies for my shattered audio quality. Um,
Ugh.
let's talk about
Anyway, get
capitalism
bird
instead.
theory.
Okay, here we go.
What
let's
was
talk.
that?
Let's talk about capitalism instead. Bird theory is giving me conniptions. Let's talk about capitalism.
Oh, well, capitalism gives me hives, so maybe
Cap-
let's not.
I have to mention it because here's what happened. So all these sightings happened. This kid experiences this horrible traumatic event where a lizard man assaults his car, and you know what businesses decide to do?
Take his car?
No, they hop on the bandwagon and they start selling like lizard man t-shirts, and their local chamber of commerce was like, as many cameras as you can get here, like newspaper articles, like TV shows. Let's do it because it's good for the community and good for the economy. So,
Well, it actually is very good for the community. Like, I'll be honest.
yeah.
Like, it's a small town in South Carolina. You know, make the best out of getting attacked by a lizard man. That's what I always say.
Yeah. And like
Start a TV show. Or a podcast.
oof. Ow. That's a little too close to home, I feel like. I mean,
That's fair.
yeah, but it do be how it be. But I mention this because the fact that there was so much publicity, the area sort of became a tourist attraction, as it tends to do with a lot of these places that have very public cryptid sightings. A local radio station, WCOS, offered a 1 million reward to anybody who could capture the lizard man alive and preferably in one piece.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is we're going to Lee County to try and get $1 million. Because
Um,
I'm going to fight this bird.
no. No, you are not doing that. We are not doing that. Maybe one day, but I'm pretty sure this reward is from like a good bit ago. And
I mean, just interest, you know, it's probably gone up from there. Probably like, 1.6 mil. Let's get it.
see, my only concern is that they have requested for the lizard man alive.
Hmm.
And if you choose to fight it, it will not be, like, at least some aspect of that equation is probably not going to be alive anymore. And
You're implying that it would kill and eat me.
either way, it would either it would kill and eat you, which is not good for so many reasons, or you would kill it, which negates the whole alive bit of that claim.
And eat it. I mean,
Don't-
it's chicken.
Hmm? I don't.
Make it into chicken nuggets.
If you are going to stand in front of me and tell me that dinosaur chicken nuggets are made of dinosaurs, I'm going to drive to Vermont and kick your ass.
They are, Sid, and plastic dinosaurs are also made out of dinosaurs, so...
I'll go with plastic dinosaurs being made out of dinosaurs. Dinosaur chicken nuggets are made of chicken, they're not made of dinosaurs.
Well, they're technically modern dinosaurs. They're the closest relative living to the T-Rex, so... That's just facts, that's biology.
I don't know if you can hear my heavy sigh. Oh, I almost majored in biology, dude. I don't think that one's quite right, Chief.
Look it up. Look it up. It's science.
Oh,
Chicken
God.
is the closest living relative to the T-Rex. At least genetically.
I mean, birds do be messed up. But we are talking about a lizard man who is completely different, I feel like, genetically and biologically, because we really don't know what is going on, because nobody ever captured the lizard man alive. And the only thing, like, the closest thing they have to it, as far as, like, evidence, I suppose, or, like, blood records, I guess, is, a man named Kenneth Orr, who's an airman stationed at Shaw Air Force Base. Um, Again, these people keep filing police reports that they've encountered a monster, and I'm really not sure what the police are going to do about that one.
I mean, knowing the police, probably just go out there and shoot it.
Yeah.
I mean,
However,
I guess with a lizard man, that might be the best option. But
my main thing is, I understand that there's like not a lot of people you can go to if you've seen some horrible, unspeakable thing. Um, I'm unsure why your first instinct would be to go to the, like, I don't know who you would go to, but if I see something wild in the woods, I don't think I'm going to the police. I feel like I'm going to the librarian, because at that point, I've been chosen for some magical quest and I gotta go do my thing.
yeah, either that or the closest park ranger is a good idea. They can
Yeah,
tell you a thing or two. Park rangers are really helpful.
I'm
I
gonna
actually
have,
almost was a park ranger, but I don't think that they would let me on account of the fact that I say that birds are dinosaurs.
also, if they let you loose in the woods, you will fight anything that lives there. With your bare hands.
Probably at least one or two things. Um,
Like, A, park rangers are important. B, they found, so I do have to, don't go, like, imagine walking into the police department in a small town in South Carolina and being like, hey, I'd like to file a report. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, what happened? Like, were you robbed? Like, did somebody hurt you? Like, what went on? And they're like, no, I saw a 7-foot tall lizard man and he ate my car. What?
I feel like
What does that go under? Who gets that? What department is responsible for a lizard man eating your car?
probably the FBI? I don't know. I don't know what investigates paranormal things.
The Men in
But
Black.
the FBI sure as shit does make excuses for it.
Like, who gets that? Who gets that report? Like,
Will Smith. You said it yourself.
I made the Men in Black joke, but like, I can't imagine.
They just put it in a letter and mail it to Will Smith. He's got tons of them. He doesn't follow up on a single one. He's like, it was a movie, guys. And people just keep sending him them, so...
What's he gonna do?
If you encounter a cryptid, tweet it at Will Smith.
Tweet it at us. I want to hear about that first. Shit.
Yeah, actually tweet at both of us.
We'll pick up. I know what my Twitter banner says, but we'll pick up.
I'll fight it if you really want me to.
Don't let him do that. Don't tweet me first and then tweet Marty so that I can prevent him from getting there.
Joke's on you, I run the Twitter.
That's valid. That's valid. That's a good point. That's a good point. Joke's on you, I run the Twitter. Let's see. You got me there.
I did.
I don't know how social media works. I try my best.
To be honest, me neither, and I took courses on it.
I'm largely technologically illiterate. It's kind of embarrassing at this point. Recently, this is completely unrelated, but I am going to make this quick aside, because it does relate at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I am so bad at computers that I had to have a friend help me download a resource pack to play Minecraft.
Amazing.
I wanted to download Optifine for the first time so I could get those cool water shader effects. I thought that'd be neat. So I very nicely had to walk up to one of my friends who's a year younger than me. She makes fun of me a little bit for being old. And I was like...
Validly, completely.
I mean, yes, absolutely. But I was like, she was very nice about it. Because I walk up and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And she walked me through it step by step. And I sat there and I looked at the screen and I was like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am on the same page we were when we started. I do not know how to do this. Like,
that's what it's like trying to, I've become the IT guy for not only my parents, but my parents' friends as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, just if you really want, you don't have to have cable at all. You can just pull it up on your phone and project it onto your smart TV. And they were like, what the fuck does that mean? And I was like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna make it so that you just have to press a button on your phone, and hopefully I never have to do this interaction again.
Yeah. No, okay. I mean, you know this too. You work with me, and we work largely on computers.
Yep.
I am trying.
Trying? Yep.
I'm trying. But it took me, like, I think I mean, this is due at least a little bit to COVID, that I was attempting to find a microphone adapter to order and secure a new microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken like 3 months to get here, and I still don't know what I have to do to get them to please just give me the product I paid for.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for much.
Yeah.
But I did recently. I feel like I have a good grasp of Discord now, and it's only been 3 or 4 months, so I'm feeling pretty good at that at least.
You know, Discord, I still don't know what the fuck Discord is doing. It's trying to render something right now that's eating my fucking laptop battery for breakfast, and it doesn't feel great. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Whatever.
I very
That's not
recently
podcast talk. That's
that's
after podcast talk. Let's talk about the Lizard Man.
Let's talk about the Lizard Man.
I still don't have a firm grasp on what he does, I guess. Like, he's eaten some cars, which is terrifying. I only know one man who eats cars, and he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for eating a car. Or an airplane? I don't remember. There was a person who did that, and it was terrible.
That seems largely concerning. Also, sorry for any clatter. I had to plug my laptop in.
Yeah.
Oops.
At least you figured that part of the technology out.
Oh, hey now. Hey, that's not fair. No. Oh god, this is embarrassing. I had a point. Oh! We were talking about Kenneth Orr. He was stationed at Shaw Air Force Base. Yeah, he's the guy who found the Lizard Man. And he said he shot it. Like, with a gun. Yeah.
With a gun?
With a gun.
And how's this Lizard Man doing after that?
I couldn't tell you. Because he was like...
Alright.
Okay, allow me to tell you what happened in the span of a very short period of time, because a lot of things happened. I'm going to need you to follow me through. Okay. So on August 15th, Kenneth Orr, Shaw Air Force Base airman, files a police report alleging that he had encountered the Lizard Man on Highway 15 and that he shot and wounded it. He gave them several scales and like a little bit of blood as evidence. I don't know how he got the blood to them. This, I feel like, should just be said. It should be mentioned. I don't know if it was a bag of blood, if it was like swiped a little bit
like a Ziploc bag full of blood and scales. And he was like, here you go. And they're like, sir, you shot a crocodile. Please stop coming here.
I don't know. So he brings like a Ziploc bag full of blood and scales and he just gives it to the police department and he's like, here it is. And then 2 days later, he recants this account because he was like, I don't know if it was arrested, but something happened and he was unlawfully carrying a pistol and filing a false police report because he comes to them and he's like, yo, I shot the Lizard Man, gives them a Ziploc bag full of blood and scales, and they're like, what do we do with this? Who are you? Please leave.
Who are you? Why do you have a gun? And what the fuck, why did you just give us a bag full of blood?
Yeah, no. Because he said he hoaxed
America's
the sighting.
Fucked, huh?
Oh my god.
the day that a man walks into a police station, hands me a bag full of blood, and says, I shot a Lizard Man, and I'd be like, are you registered for this gun? And he says no. And I would resign that day. I would walk into my boss's office, I would put my badge down, and I would say,
also,
I am done. Thank you very much. Here's a bag full of blood. Enjoy your day. God damn it.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Because all I can imagine, like, any Midwest state. I am unsure if South Carolina counts as Midwest or Southern. I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack for that.
It's definitely Southern.
Okay. Because, like, all I can imagine is roughly the same conversation you'd have with a person who's entered shock. Like, you know that when you're like, oh, like what's happened? And they're like, well, something happened this morning, and you're like, no, what's the emergency right now? Like right now, can you tell me? And they just tell you that they've been stabbed. Same energy, but this guy comes in and he's like holding, like still has the gun attached to his hip, and he's just holding an unidentified bag full of liquid. And he goes up to the front and he's like, hey, I'd like to file a police report, it's been a bit of an evening. I've had an experience. And they're like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. What happened? And he's like, well, see, there was like a shooting, I guess, but it was just me at this lizard man, and I don't know if he's dead, but I somehow collected enough blood to fill this Ziploc bag and also these scales.
My sandwich was in here, so I had to eat it very quickly. Please take it.
Like, just defeated and, like, not processing.
Yeah.
Because it's either that, it either is a Ziploc bag full of blood, or, like, a towel that he soaked in, like, lizard man blood. Like, how did he get it? Where did it come from?
Where did it go? Where did it come from, Lizard Man Joe?
Imagine walking up to a police station, slapping down a towel just absolutely soaked, and then just leaving.
I literally, when we first started talking about this, I imagined, like, just this dude coming in, just with, like, blood splatter on him, a gun in his hand, and a bag of, like, a Ziploc bag of blood, and scales in the other, and he's like, I shot a man shaped like a lizard. Might have been a crocodile. I don't know. And then he just puts both on the counter and leaves.
How would you not know? How would you not know? Like, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine shooting a crocodile and being like, maybe that was a man.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh my god.
Like, I feel like... Okay. So I'm gonna, like, expand on this a little more. He did say he had hoaxed the sighting to keep stories on the lizard man in circulation.
Okay.
And so this begins, like, reports of the creature begin to decline. And local law enforcement speculated the sightings were likely to have been caused by a bear. But we're gonna go back to the bit where he hoaxed it. If he hoaxed it, where did the blood and scales come from?
Was that ever analyzed?
No! It's not listed!
That is one thing that it's like, so many unsolved things is just because they're like, this bag full of evidence, fuck that, and they just like throw it into the ceiling, and I just throw it into the ceiling fan. It's like, we'd never need that again.
No, I just had an image of a bag of blood being thrown into a ceiling fan, and I know that's super, super morbid, but like
that
a
seems
water
to
balloon
be
full of sludge, just like
that seems to be what happens to all the evidence, because there's like, look into almost any unsolved mystery, and the reason it's unsolved is because apparently some key evidence just went missing. Like, just went missing, or was misplaced, or was lost, and it's just like, where did it go, guys? Fuck if we know.
No.
It's so bad. Like, the scales weren't analyzed, the blood wasn't analyzed, why not? But they somehow figured out that he was not registered for the gun he shot the thing with.
Oh god. I can't, like, all of this.
This whole sighting just, like, I don't...
A nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, I don't. I'm left with very little words, and I am very rarely left with very little words. Even when we had like the chimpanzee train thing from last episode, this is just that. It's not. The creature itself isn't weird. The people are.
The people are. I think that just happens when you go into like the rural South, or just like the rural, like anywhere. Like I was in rural Maine one time, and a guy started yelling at me about his cat, and I was like, "Sir, I am just driving through this area at 12 miles an hour because there's 1,200 potholes. I don't know anything about your cat, sir. I'm very sorry."
I know nothing.
Like, sometimes the people are just really nice, and sometimes, yeah, they show up with a bag full of blood, and they're like, "I shot a lizard man." You don't know.
What happened here? What happened here?
I guess I shot a lizard man.
I guess he did. Because, like...
Well, if it bleeds, I can kill it. Just gotta have enough knives.
No. No. Like, okay, we talked about this with the, oh my goodness gracious, with the last scripted, that there's a criticism section.
The what section?
The criticism section, because there is one, and it's long.
I love that. I love that cryptids, like, the more we're getting into it, the more we're finding, like, some of the cryptids just have, like, critics.
People just hate them. Because...
It's like 0 out of 10, food was very bad, service abhorrent, ate my car.
Yeah. No.
Ate my car, I had to eat my sandwich very quickly to fill a bag with blood. Didn't like it.
Ate my car, had to fill a bag with blood. Bad experience.
0 out of 10. Would not return.
Oh my god. No. There's a whole criticism section where it's just skeptical investigator Ben Radford, and he's like, so Chris Davis is the teenager who saw the lizard man who had the whole flat tire car door hook hand experience.
Yes.
And he's like, the details of Chris Davis's story do not hold up, and they were like, they just go through and they tear apart this 17-year-old's description of the creature, as he's like, the details changed from having scales to the creature being packed with mud, from how far away he was from the creature to when he first saw it, whether or not it attacked the car. Radford questioned how Davis was able to see details of the lizard man creature at 2 a.m. when there was no lighting nearby and the moon wasn't bright in a heavily wooded area. It's just like such a logical teardown of a creature that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, there's also, like, a lot of explanation for that. Like, the car has headlights. Like, I feel like a lot of critics just, like, completely ignore facts. Like, sure, I've been in rural areas. Like, there's no lights, there's nothing, it's completely pitch black. If it's cloudy, you can't see a goddamn thing. But my car still has fucking headlights.
Yeah.
Like,
you got lights inside the car.
Yeah.
They're illegal to turn on, but they do exist.
And if it jumped on top of the car, yeah, it probably came up the windshield, and you'd sure as shit see a lot. And also, he's a teenager. Teenagers don't fucking know anything. You ask me from anything in my teenage years, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know, fuck, man, could have been a lizard, could have been a man. Fuck. Like, I don't understand, like, how critics can come at a teenager and be like, hey, tell me everything, and I'm gonna rip apart every detail. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
It's also 2 a.m. and you're driving home, and it's pitch black, and, like, how do you judge the distance correctly?
You've just wrapped up a shift at your, like, garbage fast food job. You're doing your best. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, how are you gonna know every single detail and keep it completely consistent? Like, I feel like that inconsistency is, like, I don't know, it's natural. Like
it makes
the fact doesn't change that it did attack him, and it did jump on top of his car, and, like, he did have to speed. Like, that, like, what details are you gonna like investigate there? Like the consistency of how close the creature was doesn't make like a sense as a detail to investigate. Like whether or not he was working a like late night job, maybe that's a detail to investigate. Maybe if he wasn't working a job, there's no employment files or anything like that. Like maybe that's a lead to follow as to why this doesn't make sense. But other than
I
that, it
mean,
doesn't seem like there's a lot to go on here for a critic.
yeah, it's this one investigator who's just kind of going through and he's like, this is riddled with implausibilities, impossibilities. It may be sincere, it may be a hoax. There's no hard evidence of the creature. And I'm also just kind of like, it's really hard to get evidence that like a lizard exists, to be fair.
Yeah. Like
Like
maybe we
that
can
did just
expect
sound
to
stupid
see
when I said it,
a
but like
picture.
uh they don't really have any pictures.
Like but yeah, like a man shot it who knows how many years ago. Like it might be dead for all we know. Like
There could be more.
there could be more.
There
There
could be
could be
more.
more than one.
They could be a species.
It could be. I feel like with a lizard, like something like the Honey Island swamp monster, like the lizard man, it feels kind of implausible that there would be more than one. Um, like it feels like the sightings are from like a certain time to a certain time, right? Like the sightings don't really stretch beyond that era. Like maybe it was
Uh
some kind of freak of nature creature. I don't know actually. I should ask you if there's any other sightings that I should be
they
aware
were
of.
all roughly around the same time. Earliest or like latest one. Well, latest sighting being 2008 when another car got attacked. Uh
Maybe the market
it's
crash hit
some
him really
really
bad.
He's oh no. Oh no.
Maybe the lizard man of Lee County had a little bit of a issue with his finances in 2008, and that's why we haven't seen him since.
I mean, though in August 2017, the South Carolina Emergency Management Division sent out a tweet that was like possible paranormal activity during the solar eclipse, and that people of Lee and Sumter counties should remain vigilant for sightings of the lizard man, which again really does just sound like somebody who knows where the lizard man is and is like, oh, you'll never find him. Like that kind of vibe.
Maybe the lizard man runs the Twitter.
That's possible. The lizard man works for the emergency management division.
Maybe. He applied online, they never saw his face.
Can you imagine walking into a building, any building, like any like government building looks really official, and the guy working the front desk is a full-on lizard,
I feel like
just in a suit.
be a bad time.
I don't feel like it would be the weirdest thing I've seen this year. I'm gonna be real.
Okay, one very important question before we wrap up. What kind
Absolutely.
of lizard is it described as? Is it described as like more crocodile-esque, or is it like a gecko?
It doesn't say. It
Doesn't
just says
say.
that he's 7 feet tall, has scales, and like the 3 fingers, red eyes, skin like a lizard with scales.
Hmm.
And that he's big.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the fan art for this guy could be either very scary or very cute. Maybe he does
But
look like
yeah,
a gecko.
oh, you could have those big gecko eyes. Those are adorable.
Yeah, exactly.
That would actually be really, really cute.
Right? It'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
I want to see fan art of the lizard man now.
Yeah, if you want to make any fan art of the lizard man, please tweet it to us at OnCryptids on Twitter, or tag us with the hashtag Cryptids on any social media platform. We monitor all of those, so if you have any fan art, we would love to see it. Love this lizard man.
Yeah.
Actually, I've just decided that he's.
You've decided?
Yeah, I love him.
He actually seems really nice.
Yeah, I mean, the whole car thing maybe is a bit of an issue, but we could work past it and be friends.
Yeah.
And if we can't, well, then we'll throw hands. Or lizard claws.
That's valid.
I don't know what he has. We'll see.
We will see. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in this week and listening to us ramble on about the lizard man.
Yeah, I enjoyed this episode a lot, actually, Sid.
Yeah.
I love absolutely knowing nothing about a cryptid before we start the podcast, which is how I came in this week. And I feel like I learned a lot. So thank you for doing the research.
Yeah.
And yeah. If you guys want more of us, we are streaming. We have our new schedule set with classes starting and everything. We had to adjust, and we made this drastic change. We'll now be streaming at 8:30 on Thursdays instead of 8. So come down and join us on our Twitch, which is twitch.tv/themidcast, THEMYDCAST. Come down and join us. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun playing Minecraft with you guys and just chatting. From learning how to play Minecraft to bothering you guys by purposely not eating food to the cube cult being formed and putting a hit out on Sid. It's been a lot of fun.
It really has. I really do look forward to streaming every week and seeing you guys and kind of getting a chance to interact.
It is a great time.
Fun.
So come out and join us on twitch.tv/themidcast. If you want notifications of when we go live or when an episode is going up, you can follow us on Twitter again at OnCryptids. That is at OnCryptids. And honestly, guys, we are now on iTunes and Spotify, so if you guys could leave us a review or give us a subscribe on any of those, that would be so fantastic. That really helps us get a little bit more visible and a lot more attention. So that would be so helpful from you guys. So thank you very much for coming out and listening to this episode. And
yeah, thank you for your continued support across all of our platforms. We really appreciate it. And yeah, this has honestly been amazing.
A lot of fun. And until next time,
we'll see y'all in the woods.